Let's talk about something that quietly runs the show in addiction and recovery, and most people don't even realize it's happening. Your brain lies to you. It's not broken or weak. It lies because it's trying to protect you. And sometimes the very thing meant to protect you is the exact thing keeping you stuck. Today we're talking about defense mechanisms and cognitive distortions, two psychological processes that shape how you see yourself, your life, and your recovery, often without even noticing. Let's start simple. Defense mechanisms are the things you do to protect yourself from uncomfortable emotions. Cognitive distortions are the ways you think that twist reality, usually without your permission. Both are completely normal. Every human being on the planet does this. But in addiction and recovery, they can quietly keep you disconnected from the truth and from yourself. So why does this matter in recovery? Because recovery isn't about stopping a substance. It's about learning how to feel, how to think clearly, and how to respond to life without running from it. If your brain is constantly protecting you from discomfort, you never actually deal with the thing underneath, which means the cycle continues. Let's walk through some of the most common defense mechanisms. And as you listen, don't try to diagnose yourself. Just notice what feels familiar. Denial is the classic one. I don't have a problem. It's not stupidity, it's protection. If you don't see the problem, you don't have to feel the fear, shame, or responsibility that comes with it. Repression is when you push things down so far you barely know they're there. That loss, that hurt, that moment that changed you, it gets buried. Projection is a sneaky one. You take something you don't like about yourself and you point it out in someone else. Rationalization sounds intelligent, but it keeps you stuck. It's just this once. I deserve this. It's not that bad. Displacement is when you take your frustration from one place and dump it somewhere safer. Bad day at work, and now your partner gets the attitude. And then there are more adaptive ones. Sublimation is where you channel emotion into something productive, like going for a run instead of blowing up. Humor, where you lighten the load just enough to face it. Suppression, where you say, I'll deal with this, just not right now. Those ones show growth, not perfection, just awareness. Now here's the key idea. Defense mechanisms are not the problem. They're signals. They're pointing to an emotion you don't feel ready to deal with yet. And in recovery, that's where the work is. Now let's shift into cognitive distortions. This is where your thinking gets a little, shall we say, creative, but not in a helpful way. In a way that makes things heavier, more permanent, and more personal than they actually are. Here are some of the big ones. All or nothing thinking. Everything is black and white. I've messed up, so I've failed. Generalization. One bad experience becomes your whole identity. One relationship ended, so therefore I'll always be alone. Labeling. You take a behavior and turn it into who you are. I used, so I'm just an addict. Catastrophizing. Your brain jumps straight into the worst case scenario every time. Mind reading. You assume that you know what people think about you, and it's usually not flattering. Fortune telling. You predict the future like it's already decided. They won't hire me. And one of the most painful ones in recovery, discounting the positives. You ignore your progress and zoom in on your mistakes. Now here's where it gets really important. Cognitive distortions don't just happen randomly. They are often built on deeper beliefs. Beliefs like, I'm not good enough. I always mess things up. I don't deserve a better life. And your brain will bend reality to make those beliefs feel true. This is not a character flaw. That's how the mind tries to create consistency. So what do we do with all this? Because you can't just snap your fingers and think differently. That's just not how it works. Here are a few practical ways to start working with it. First, awareness always comes before change. You don't need to stop the thought right away. Just catch it and say, that might not be fully accurate. Second, slow things down. Distorted thinking thrives in speed. Give yourself a moment to question it. Third, ask better questions. Did I actually cause this? Is this always true or just right now? Does this situation define me as a person? And finally, bring it back to emotion. Because underneath almost every defense mechanism and distorted thought is a feeling trying to be avoided. Usually something like shame, fear, sadness, or regret. And when you learn how to sit with those emotions, even just a little bit, you don't need the same level of protection anymore. So if there's one thing to take from this, it's this. Your brain is not your enemy. It is just trying to keep you safe, using strategies that might be outdated. Recovery is learning new ones, not by force, but by awareness, honesty, and a willingness to look a little deeper. And when you do that, you don't just change your thinking, you change your entire relationship with yourself.